The Dodgers are on a roll. Everyone is furious at Shohei Ohtani's 46th home run. B. Chandler makes a shocking confession about refusing to swap jerseys. Ohtani's calm reaction shakes the entire nation. The tragedy of the MLB Dodgers has been quietly but surely piling up since the start of the game. In the top of the first inning, the single hit by Tommy Pham of the Pittsburgh Pirates should have landed in the glove of Teoscar Hernandez in right field. But at that moment, the instability of the defense was exposed. His handling was poor, and the ball rolled mercilessly across the field, easily resulting in a double. A roar spread through the stands, and jaws were fixed on the Dodgers' battle. This defensive error meant more than just one run. The team's overall concentration and the atmosphere of winning had already begun to crumble. Nevertheless, the Clayton Kerr Award winner held on. The veteran left-hander pitched through the fifth inning without being affected by the rough stretch of the first inning, trying to turn the game around. The batting line responded, with Shohei Ohtani hitting a huge 46th solo home run with a 193 km/h batting speed, and Andy Parfes adding a solo home run to tie the game. The score was 4-4. It seemed like the game was back to square one. However, for the Dodgers, this Chikahiro was actually just a prelude to the storm. In the sixth inning, manager Dave Roberts switched Carr to the bullpen. But from there, everything fell apart. Young right-hander Edgardo Enriquez walked 2 balls in a row as soon as he stepped onto the mound. Overwhelmed by tension and difficulty in pitching, the Pirates' batting line gave up 3 runs. The fans in the stands stood on their feet, and the Dodgers bench was filled with silence. The nightmare continued in the 7th inning. Michael Kopech gave up another run, and the bad streak could not be stopped. Anthony Banda, who came in as a relief pitcher, also disappointed expectations, allowing 1 more run. In just a few innings, the Dodgers had completely lost control of the game. And even veteran Kirby Yates couldn't break the cycle in the 8th inning. He struck out a run with a single and then allowed another run on a follow-up hit. With the score ticking over to the 9th, the outcome of the game was set in stone. It was a moment that symbolized the Dodgers' bullpen, once known as the Wall, now coming together in crucial moments. After the game, the 22-year-old right-hander took to the stadium's press area and was surprisingly candid in expressing his dissatisfaction with the Dodgers. Many reporters were surprised when the young, promising prospect, who was seen as the future of the Pirates, instead of showing the composure of a winner, instead took advantage of one weakness after another in his defeated opponent. The first thing he pointed out was the defense in the first inning. Chandler scowled as he spoke about the ball that Tommy Pham hit down the right field line and slipped past Teoscar Hernandez's glove for a 2-out. That ball should have been stopped, Chandler said. Even if it was a difficult hit, an outfielder on a team aiming for the championship should be able to handle it. I think that was not just a run, but a symbol of the team's overall lack of focus. The room went quiet, and the reporters instinctively stopped taking notes. The conversation then turned to the bullpen. Chandler shook his head as he pointed to Enriquez, Kopech, and Yates. They were all throwing out runs one after another, completely losing their momentum. He asserted that they had lost their composure on the mound and ruined the game. It was unbelievable that a team that is seriously aiming for the playoffs would have its relief pitchers give up 3 or more runs in 3 consecutive games. Even from the stands, it was clear that their concentration had waned, he said. The most shocking moment of the game was undoubtedly Shohei Ohtani's 46th home run. Ohtani came to bat in the 3rd inning with the score at 1-4 and didn't miss a 160 km/h fastball thrown low in the middle by 22-year-old rookie right-hander Bubba Chandler. The entire stadium erupted in roars as the ball left the bat. It reached a speed of 193 km/h, the fastest in the Dodgers franchise's history. The bullet-like liner struck the right field stands in just 3.6 seconds, and the crowd was left speechless by its speed and destructive power. This hit meant more than just one run. While the entire team was falling apart due to poor defense and an unstable bullpen, Ohtani swung his bat like a player here and made his presence felt. His 3-for-5 record with 2 RBIs was a real letdown for the team. Fans watching him return to the dugout must have seen a hero who transcended the outcome. After the game, Chandler, who had dodged the hit, expressed his honest feelings. He was like a machine. 3A. That incredible home run, the way he ran with all his might until the very end. To be honest, I was even angry. Why was a superstar like him fighting so hard? The young player could not hide his true feelings as his teammates continued to make mistakes and miss opportunities, and the reality that Ohtani's struggles were not being rewarded, rather than the Dodgers who should have been defeated. The Dodgers clubhouse was enveloped in a quiet tension after the game. Emotions were running high within the team, which had been left in a state of low spirits due to early defensive mistakes and the collapse of the bullpen. Letterman Clayton Kerr and Teoscar Hernandez began to argue heatedly, and the atmosphere in the locker room turned tense. An atmosphere of mutual blame was spreading over the plays that led to the failure, and the players around him could only watch at a loss for words. It was none other than Shohei Ohtani who broke the oppressive atmosphere. He made no mention of his 46th home run or his MLB award, but instead quietly addressed the entire team. We are one team. Whether we win or lose, we all have to share responsibility. His calm tone and sincere expression eased the tense mood slightly, and the players had no choice but to listen. Bubba Chandler, the opposing team member, also said that he was deeply moved by this episode. It wasn't the 193 km/h home run that surprised them. It was his attitude of trying to improve the team's atmosphere. He didn't brag about his own numbers, but rather thought only of his teammates. I think that's what a leader is. He even went so far as to say that any young player would dream of fighting alongside someone like that. An unexpected episode occurred on the field after the game. Bubba Chandler, the young right-hander for the Pirates, offered his uniform to Shohei Ohtani, who he admired. The moment he was forced to buy it in front of Omazu seemed like a dream. However, Ohtani's response was unexpected. He immediately shook his head and quietly said, "I can't do it here right now. Instead, if you give me your address, I'll definitely send it to you when I get home." Quote. Chandler reportedly couldn't hide his surprise at the answer at first. Exchanging uniforms with Shohei is one of the biggest dreams of a young pitcher. So he honestly said he was a little taken aback when he was turned down. But what Ohtani said next really struck a chord with him. If you were to make the exchange now, you might attract unnecessary attention. There have been players who have gotten into trouble for similar reasons in the past. I don't want you to have to go through that. At that moment, Chandler realized that the other player wasn't just a superstar. At that time, what he was thinking about was my position, not his own. Looking back, he never imagined that he would be more concerned about a rookie like him than about protecting himself. He revealed that those words and attitude left a stronger impression on him than accepting the uniform. To be honest, he has no regrets about not being able to make the exchange at that time. Rather, Chandler spoke strongly about how Shohei's consideration itself was a more valuable gift to him than anything else. And finally, he concluded by saying that if he really did receive the uniform from him, it wouldn't just be a mere souvenir, but a symbol that would help him stand up for himself for the rest of his life. After the game, Shohei Ohtani couldn't help but laugh when asked about Bubba Chandler's remarks in front of reporters. When he heard that, he looked up at the scoreboard and said, "Seriously?" Ohtani honestly commented, "I thought it was a really cute reaction." His words showed his kind regard for the young pitcher and his sympathy for the confusion he himself had experienced in the past. Ohtani went on to talk about his own rookie days. When I first came to MLB, there were times when I was worried if I could really hit against a top-class pitcher. So I can understand his surprise. It wasn't just a compliment, it was a statement of real-life experience gained over a long career. Ohtani also humbly responded to Chandler's three-time challenge. "I'm just doing my best for the team.